My name is Mykayla Ward, and I'm in the oral communications class at NWAC. Words hurt more than you think. Emotional abuse and the signs of it. Do they really care, or is it manipulation? Emotional abuse is a spiraling hole that not only makes people believe their relationship is healthy, but it also tears people down and ruins their self-esteem. Abuse comes in many forms, and one of the overlooked forms of it is emotional abuse. Did you know that 17% of the contacts to the NSPCC's hot helpline in 2016 were concerns about emotional abuse? Today, the first thing we will talk about are the signs of emotional abuse and how to spot it in your own relationship or a friend's. And then we will talk about the statistics and relevancy of the emotional abuse. Lastly, we will talk about how emotional abuse, manipulation, and gaslighting can affect someone long-term. Most women who are abuse victims have been reported saying that emotional abuse hurts them the same, if not more, than actual physical abuse. In an emotionally abusive relationship, you may experience many things, but the most common are ultimatums, withholding attention, restriction, alienation, gaslighting, and even sometimes using a person's disability against them. To clear up what those words mean, ultimatums are when the abusers say, "You can do this or we will break up," or, "Okay, if you don't do this, you can just move back in with your parents." These are especially bad when they try to force the partner's hand in marriage, because it creates even more tension in the relationship and it increases the rate of divorces. Gaslighting is somewhat similar to this and alienation, but gaslighting is used to make someone question their sanity. Alienation is used to make someone believe everyone in their family isn't worth their time, or that they are all out to get them. Restriction is used to keep the abuser from their family, even if they want to be around them, like keeping them from Christmas vacations with their family, or even keeping them from going to visit them on a Sunday. Withholding attention is when the abusive partner says things like, "No kisses until you do this," or "You can sleep on the couch tonight because you didn't do that." Although physical and emotional abuse have different signs and different impacts, they leave the same amount of damage. 35% of women who have been in common law relationships have been emotionally abused. To put that into perspective, 29% of women who are or who have been in common law marriages are physically abused. Emotional abuse is one of the largest warning signs for a relationship on the verge or at risk of physical abuse, especially when a man or woman is using words to put the other down or make them feel like they aren't human. Emotional abuse doesn't sound that dangerous, but abusers are likely to commit murder and even murder-suicides. In 2015, a woman named Jessica Haben was being emotionally and physically abused by her partner. He would grab her by the hair and throw her into the washing machine. He would throw her into walls. He even held a knife to her throat. In May of 2015, he punched her in the head with a closed fist and caused a blunt force trauma. He left her battling with dizziness, nausea, and confusion. After falling into a deep depression, she told the social worker that she felt like he had already killed her. Even though the abuser, Vang, was under a court order to stay away, he kept calling and texting Jessica. On December 19, 2015, Jessica Haben committed suicide despite having 3 beautiful children. Her abuser was then arrested for driving his own partner to suicide. There have been many more reports of this, including 2 12-year-old girls who bullied a school friend until she committed suicide. According to Carol Warshaw, director of the National Center on Domestic Violence, Trauma, and Mental Health, women who make suicide attempts experience higher rates of domestic violence than women who do not. And women who experience domestic violence have higher rates of suicide attempts and ideation than women who have not been victimized by an intimate partner. Emotional abuse is the equivalent to feeling paralyzed, according to a woman who wishes not to have her name mentioned. We often think that once a woman or man leaves the abusive relationship, they'll get better, stop feeling scared, stop feeling ashamed, confused, and guilty. But in reality, there are many long-term effects involved with emotional abuse. The long-term effects of emotional abuse include anxiety disorders, chronic pain, insomnia, social withdrawal, and even anxiety disorders. Even guilt for something they didn't cause. Insomnia is something that keeps you from sleeping. Many researchers even believe that emotional abuse leads to conditions like chronic fatigue syndrome and even fibromyalgia. In some cases, people have developed PTSD from their abuses. The symptoms of PTSD can include angry outbursts, negative thoughts, insomnia, flashbacks to the trauma, being easily startled, and nightmares. PTSD is most often treated with therapy and or antidepressants. Some ways to try and strengthen yourself with or without medical help. Although help from a therapist is advised, you can get active using low-impact sports. You can get social and reach out to your own support groups, or even just go out with your work buddies every once in a while. Reach out to your family, try to spend time with them, keep in mind your diet, and try to eat fairly healthy. Volunteer at your local community center because helping people grows the heart. Don't be afraid to get the help you need. While we're told sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt us, countless men and women live every day getting hurt by their abusers' words. While most people in society believe physical abuse is worse, they all have the same intensity level. If you or someone you know are going through any type of abuse, do not hesitate to call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or text them at 1-800-787-3224. Thank you.